Welcome back to Seriously Where's the Good podcast episode
9?
I think so. That's what I wrote down, so hopefully that's correct.
I think it's 9.
Okay. Well,
this is the last episode. We'll talk about our experience chronologically.
Yeah.
We can still talk about it in like
all over the place.
Yeah, more not concentrated. What's the word?
Detailed.
Yeah, more detailed in certain aspects of it, but not in the story.
Here. Yeah.
And this is the birth of Evelyn, right? Mm-hmm. That's where we ended off last time?
Yeah, going into it.
Right.
Because there was so much.
So, I think I explained last time how she was... I think how they call it is sunny side up. The position that she was in my belly, which is still head down, but facing forward instead of facing back. Mm-hmm. So spine on spine instead of legs on spine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's a little bit harder to give birth in that position than the other way around. But usually babies turn as you're in labor, which is what we're going to get into.
Yeah. Which is kind of off topic, not completely, but you can see what your baby's personality is going to be like in the womb.
Oh, absolutely.
It's wild. Like, looking back on it, everything makes sense with Evelyn. Everything makes sense with Neymar. Like, everything. Like, the little quirks that they did when we were doing, like, the ultrasounds, how much they moved, how much, like, Neymar flipped, like, all of it.
Yeah, Neymar flipped a lot. I think he gets frustrated a lot when he can't do something on, like, the first try. He gets very frustrated. So I think he was trying to find the way out.
Probably.
He just couldn't find it. And so he got frustrated and ended up head up at the end.
Yeah.
And then he couldn't go back down.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's my guess.
Their personality really does start in the womb. Like, you do learn it more, but now looking back on it, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, you don't quite understand it while it's happening, but when you look back at it later on, you're like, oh, that makes sense.
Yep. Anyway. Back to the sunny side up.
Back to sunny side up. Okay, so we went to 40 weeks, went in, nothing. I was still posterior, my cervix was still posterior, I wasn't dilated, I wasn't effaced, I wasn't ready to give birth. I don't know if we said that, and then we went again a week later, which we kind of got into it, but I don't think we finished explaining.
All of it.
Mm-hmm. We had we had the appointment set up with the doctor that I had that terrible experience with for the last appointment. And Danielle had our doctor.
I forgot about this part, actually.
For her last appointment. But she gave birth before she went in for that last appointment. And so that spot was taken. And the reason why I couldn't get our doctor was because she was booked. She was fully booked, so I had to go with the other one. Mm-hmm. But then Danielle gave birth, right? So she was like, why don't you just call in and ask if you can take my spot?
It's already booked for...
Yeah, before before it gets taken by somebody else. And I was like, that's the greatest idea I've ever heard in my life. And so she even saw that, like, our doctor came in that morning when she had the baby.
Yeah. And
they talked to her, and they talked about me, and they were like, oh, she just really wants to try and give birth vaginally. She doesn't want to have
a
C-section. And our doctor was actually like, oh, I really, really want to give her that opportunity. Like, I'm going to try my best to so that she can have the experience that she wants, and she can totally call and change the appointment to have me that day. And so I did, which when I called, I was on hold for like 40 minutes or 45 minutes. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm not giving this up. I'm going to get this appointment changed, and I'm going to book it with her instead of the other doctor. Like, I will stay here all day if I need to. And when I called, they said, oh, it looks like that appointment's already taken. I was like, what? No, it's not. No, it's not. They were going to give it to me. And then I think she didn't realize that it was still Danielle, like still.
Yeah, it's Danielle's appointment.
Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, wait, yeah, let me. And then they were able to get it fixed. So we did end up going with my doctor for that last appointment. And we set up an induction date because I was ready to be done. Like I said, we went in there and I was like...
Avalon wasn't ready, but she was ready.
Yeah. But also, we were at 41 weeks.
Yeah.
41 in a few days. Like, we're not quite sure. It was... They were telling me, oh, your due date is May 4th. Oh, your due date is May 6th. Oh, your due date... They just kept switching the due date. It could be May 9th. It could be... They just kept switching it for me.
Yeah.
And so we're not actually sure what day my due date actually was. So I don't know if I was 41 weeks in a couple days, 40 weeks in a couple... I have no idea what I actually was. But we booked the induction date, and I don't know, I wasn't feeling too sure that it was actually going to work because of all the fear that the other doctor put in my head.
Yeah.
But looking into... You know, I had to look up other stories and, like, other moms' experiences with inductions, with VVAC inductions, and, like, failed ones and successful ones. All the successful ones talked about how you need to go in with your mindset that it's going to work. You can't go in with uncertainty. Like, you have to believe that it's going to work. You have to trust that everything is gonna work, and just go with the flow and just believe in yourself, believe in your body, trust the doctors, just trust everything will align perfectly for you. And I tried to do that as best as I could. There was a moment where I was absolutely nuts. Doesn't mean I didn't believe it was going to happen. I was just crazy. With the epidural.
Oh, yeah, that was...
We'll get to that point. So, when we got to the day of our induction, I didn't realize how sad it was going to be leaving Neymar behind.
Yeah. Like leaving for the last time as an only child.
Mm-hmm. Like, it didn't hit me that entire time because I was too focused on having birth vaginally and too focused on making sure that she's head down, making sure that I could try to flip her so that she's positioned the right way. Like, I was so focused on those things that I didn't quite realize how much it was going to affect me that we were going to come back with another baby and Neymar wasn't going to be the only kid anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the same for you, but it I was crying that day. Like, that whole morning I was just...
Yeah. For me it wasn't like as... Probably because like that last 2 months we were going out and doing something like every day pretty much. You
and Amber had a lot of time to spend together.
Yeah, so I got a lot of that time, just me and him.
I didn't get that much time with him towards the end.
Yeah.
Because he's so energetic. And I was huge. I was so big and everything hurt and I couldn't keep up with him. It's not that I just couldn't keep up with him.
Yeah, he's all over the place all the time.
He's like, let's run up here, let's go downstairs, let's go upstairs, let's go downstairs, let's go do this, let's go to the park, let's go do blah 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 blah. And I tried to do as much as I could with him, but also feeling defeated with the whole situation, like my mood was just not, mentally I wasn't really there, physically, I was so tired, so I didn't get to spend as much time with him as you did. And it finally hit me like, oh.
We still spent like
Yeah,
single day we would go get ice cream because there's an ice cream place just down the street from us, and so we.
And walking is good for you, so I was trying to walk my baby out.
Yeah, so we ended up doing like going every single day to either the park or the ice cream because there's a park next to it. But so you got that time, but yeah, I think that's why it didn't hit me, just because I did get all those days of we were going fishing, we were going. I don't remember all the stuff that we went, but we did a lot of stuff. Just going out and doing stuff.
Yeah.
Working on the truck, we were working on the yard. We were doing like all this different stuff, and so I did get that time with him. So yeah, that's probably why it didn't hit me as much.
I wonder how weird it was for him, the fact that we were going to get ice cream every single day. To not
Just to stop.
Yes, to stop.
Well,
you still went a couple times. I remember when I was still healing from.
There was a lot. We'll get into that. That should be a whole different episode of not just Neymar, but just the transition from first kid to second kid.
Oh yeah, we'll do an episode of that.
It is not just for parents, but for the kid. Like, it was so hard on Neymar for months.
Yeah.
I don't think he's still quite there.
No, but he's a lot better.
He's a lot better. I'm not saying he's not good, but
it's still pretty hard.
Yeah. Anyway, that'll be a whole different episode one of these days.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we were at the part that was hitting me hard.
Mm-hmm.
We left. We went to the. It's always so weird going to the hospital when you're in labor or when you're gonna go have a baby. I don't know. For me, at least, I just feel so weird walking in there. Like, I don't know. It just seems weird. And then they like separate you. Like, they separate us. And then they ask you all these questions, which makes sense why they ask them. Like, does your husband do this? Does your husband do that? Like, are you being abused? And then we go into the room. This was a whole different experience from Neymar's. Neymar's was really like, it was rushed. It was, I don't know, it was, the whole feeling of it was way different. This was so much calmer. We walk in, they kind of talk to us a little bit about how it's gonna go. Mm-hmm. We were gonna do a Foley bulb, and then we were gonna start with the Pitocin. But first, they had to get my IV in, and that whole morning I was crying, and I didn't drink enough water, and I was crying, so my water was leaving my body, and so I was so dehydrated by the time that we got there. And the nurse...
We got there late. It was like 8 or 9, right? When we got
no,
there.
It was like 7.
Okay, 7 or 8. Sorry, 7.
It was like 7, but we didn't start the whole thing until like later. But yeah, the nurse comes and she's like, okay, we have to put your IV in. Like, which hand would you like it on? And I specifically said, I would like it on my right hand because I'm left-handed and I don't want to be in pain with my left hand. Like, I want it to be free and I want to be able to do things with it. She's like, okay, we start. First vein that she tries, blown. It hurts so bad. And she's like, oh no, let's try another one. And I think start?
Wasn't it, she was looking for one in your right hand but couldn't find one, so then she moved to the left one, and then that's when it blew?
Oh, was it that?
I think so, yeah. Because
you
wanted to do it in the right one. She couldn't find a good one in the right one. So she's like, I can't find one, let's go to the left one. She put one in, it blew. She did another one, it blew. And then she's like, I'm going to go get the nurse. And the nurse came in and put it in your right hand the first try. Mm-hmm. So it still ended up in your right hand, but she blew the 2 veins on your left hand first.
It was so painful. So painful. It, like, my hand was It was like a balloon.
Yeah, it was pretty swollen.
If I could find the picture, maybe, I don't know if you could put it in there, or maybe I could find it on my phone and try to show on the camera. But it was so big. It hurt so bad for that, and I didn't want to be in pain with my left hand, and it was the most painful thing. More painful than the IV itself.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, I was a little bit mad. I'm like, I can't believe this just happened. I just explained why I wanted it on the other hand. And the fact that the other nurse was able to get it on the first try on the right hand, I was like, what was the point? What was the point of this?
There's always something you have to be mad about when it comes to that.
I know, there has to be something that goes... I mean, if of all the things that could have gone wrong, that's the best thing that could have gone wrong.
Yeah. But they were both, like, really good nurses, though.
Oh, yeah, I loved them.
Their bedside manners were just amazing. Like, they were... Like, there's the ones that just come and check on you, like, oh, how's it doing, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, these ones were, like, coming
they were
in,
so
like,
nice.
wanting to get to know us, you know, and, you know, cracking jokes and hanging out, and...
Okay, here is... I don't know if you can you see it?
Yeah, there we go. If you're listening on not YouTube, then sorry.
Sorry you can't see it. But there's the picture of...
Whoa.
Uh-oh. Hopefully that wasn't really loud.
It was. There's a big spike, so it's okay.
Hopefully you're not hearing this with headphones.
Sorry for your audio.
Rip your ears. I took a picture of my hand after they took like the
wraps off.
The wraps off, and it was bruised, so purple.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I don't think I'll find that one. I have a billion pictures of Evelyn. It's lost in there somewhere. But
and going back to the nurse, like, it's interesting because they obviously we remember. I at least for me, I remember the experience really well, but also like key people in all of it, because you see a lot of doctors, you see a lot of nurses throughout the whole thing. It's like the for Neymar's,
the anesthesiologist.
it was the anesthesiologist.
Amazing.
For Abelin's, it was the two nurses. The doctor was good too, but like those two nurses were just...
I actually remember the name of the anesthesiologist for Neymar.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the names for the nurses for Abilene, but I don't remember the other one.
I suck with names, so I don't remember
I only
my
remember
own name half the time.
I only remember one of them because it was Allie. It was the same as Allie. That's what
Anyway.
I remember.
It's like I remember the experience really well, but I also like key people.
Yeah, the ones that changed or made the whole
experience a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were so kind. They were so encouraging throughout the entire thing. Like, they just kept saying, "Oh, you're doing so good. This is technically your first time because the other one was a C-section, and you're doing amazing for the first time."
Yeah, walking her through it and like helping her out when she needed it. Like when that one was actually born, like one of them took my phone and recorded it, like to record the whole thing, and so we could have that.
Yeah, they were asking us, what do you guys do for a living? Like, what's your job? And then we told them, oh, we're YouTubers. They're like, what? Let me see your, like, what's your channel? Let me go look it up, and I'll follow you.
Yeah, so it's the key people that make it better. You remember those people too, which it seems to be the case for everybody. Like when we talk to other people, they're like, oh yeah, Dr. So-and-so did this and that and the other. I'm like, I don't remember the name. I can tell you what they did. I can't remember the name, but there's always like that one person. Anyway.
Yeah. So we get the IV in, and then I don't quite remember the nurse that blew my veins. She tried to find my cervix. They had to So they had me laying down, and then they had to put my, like, lean me back. Do you remember that? My head was down and my legs were higher than on the bed.
I don't remember this part.
Yeah, they were like reclining me, so my head was a little bit below and my legs were a little bit higher, and she tried to find my cervix and she could not find it still. She was like, it's still so posterior, I cannot find it. And that made me a little bit nervous because there's like a score that doctors measure the probability of your induction succeeding. And they measure it by how dilated you are, how effaced you are, where your cervix is positioned, all those things matter, or the position of your baby, all those things matter, and you have to have a certain number of points for them to feel like it is going to be successful.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that it won't be successful if you don't have that many points, but it just means like it's more likely to be successful and not fail. And all those things meant that it wasn't likely for it to be successful.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't favorable.
Yeah.
It wasn't favorable, that's the word. So it made me nervous, but I was like, okay, the Foley bulb will change everything. The Foley bulb will help me. I was lucky enough that one of our friends, she had the Foley bulb for her birth, so she had that experience, and she called me, or I called her, I can't remember, and she kind of explained how it goes and how it felt and her experience with it, and that made me feel a little bit better about it. Because when I looked up Foley bulb on social media, it is the most painful thing, the worst thing that women have gone through. Or that's what they say. And so I was a little scared. But she said that it wasn't too bad. It was uncomfortable, but it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit scared, but also I knew that this was my best chance at being able to give birth vaginally, and I was going to give it my all, and if it failed, it failed, but I was going to give it my all. And then the doctor comes in to check, and he's able to find it fast. Like, it didn't take him that long, and it wasn't like an uncomfortable, it didn't hurt, it was fast, and he's like, oh, you're already like 2 centimeters dilated, maybe 2.5.
And this was all within like, what, an hour or something like that?
Yeah, of getting there.
Yeah.
He's like, if you like, we could still do the Foley bulb, but I suggest we just put you on Pitocin, just start you on Pitocin, because the Foley bulb is only going to get you 3 centimeters to 5 centimeters dilated.
Yeah, he's like, the direction you're going, it's not even going to be worth it.
Yeah, he's like, it might just be better for you to start on Pitocin and not have to go through that pain of trying to get that catheter in there. And so I was like, if you think this is gonna work without it, I will go for it. And I didn't want to be in any more pain than I had to be, because if it didn't work out, I was gonna have to have a C-section. So I didn't want to like make it too painful down there.
Yeah.
If it wasn't gonna work. So we decided to just start slowly with Pitocin, because I was scared, because using Pitocin also increases the chances of uterine rupture. So like the stitches from my C-section, if they didn't heal correctly, they could tear, and that is really bad. That could mean baby could die, I could bleed out, I could lose my uterus and not be able to have any more babies. And my reasoning for wanting to do a vaginal birth was, yes, I wanted to have the experience, but also I wanted to have the biggest chance we could at having 4 kids. And with C-sections, yes, you can have, some women can have more than 3 C-sections, but some can't. And 3 is like the max for some, depending on how you heal. And I wasn't sure how I was going to heal. So having a vaginal birth would give me a bigger chance of being able to have 4 if we can get pregnant again. When we get pregnant again. Where was I? I kind of got sidetracked.
Start on Pitocin.
Oh yeah, slowly. And I made sure to ask them to do it slowly because I was scared of a uterine rupture. But I didn't know that you could go all the way up to 20. Like the...
That's the highest for a C-section. It goes up to what?
I don't remember what she said.
Anyway, they started on like 2.
I think we started at 2, yeah.
And they went up to 4 and then 6. So I didn't know these numbers. I thought it was to 10. And so
I kind of thought it was to 10 too. I was a little bit scared.
Yeah, so I was like,
I wasn't sure either.
Why are they bumping up? It's a 6. Like, aren't they supposed to be being careful? I'm sitting there like,
no, we started at 2, and then like they're like, okay, we'll just wait out for like 30 minutes or an hour and see how it goes. And then like 15 minutes later, they come in and they're like, oh, this is looking good. Do you want to start going up to? Let's increase it by 2. And I was like, it's only been like 15 minutes. How is this going slowly? So they increased it to 4 after like 30 minutes of starting.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh my gosh, we only have 6 left. We gotta take it slow. And my contractions were increasing a little bit. At this point, I didn't have an epidural yet.
Yeah.
It was still just me hanging on. It wasn't too bad. I've had them worse with Neymar when I was in natural labor at this point. And we have it all written down of how it went. Let me find it. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, they upped it by 2 every time, right? Was that, or maybe more?
So they upped it from 1 to a 3 first, not
That's
a 4, because my contractions were moving along like they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then
the other thing is, for whatever reason, so they have the little band to measure the contractions. For whatever reason, it would not stay on Mara. Like, it kept on falling off, it kept on slipping, it kept on...
the position that she was in.
That one was in?
Yes, because it was... My belly was really high up here. Like, I think her whole body was up, her legs were here, and then I had just a dip, and it was, like, hollow.
Yeah.
It wasn't hollow, but, like, you could squish it, and she was right here, and then you could squish it where it was just this part, I guess, of her body. And every time that they put it right... I guess I'm really far from the mic. Every time that they put it right there in the part that you could squish, it would just move down and it would fall.
But it had to be in that position.
So they could hear the heart.
Yeah.
It was a struggle trying to keep it where it's supposed to be. So they had to keep coming in to try and put it back because we would lose the heartbeat and we would lose the heartbeat. So that was...
So I was trying to fix it, and then I wouldn't be able to, and so they would come and fix it, and like they tried all these different methods and all these. It was wild.
And I tried to hold it as long as I could, like with my hand, but then it got to a point where the contractions were getting stronger.
Yeah.
And they were stronger than I had experienced with Neymar. And there was one that was so strong that I decided to go on my side.
Yeah.
And I think they turned it up after that a little bit.
Yeah, we would just be sitting there and it would start going off, and I think at that point it was like the nurses kind of knew. They would walk in and be like, "Did it slip off again? Slip off again?"
The baby heart monitor keeps falling off of Mara's belly.
And this is probably the 20th time that it's done it.
Once they get a good line of the baby heartbeat, they will turn up the oxytocin, the Pitocin. So we got that. I was walking around too.
Yeah.
For a minute, trying to... We read this book that was gonna...
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. I tried to block that book out of my mind.
Actually, we listened to it. We didn't read it.
Oh my god.
Listen to this book that was supposed to help me prepare mentally for labor, the process of labor, so that I could do it as an unmedicated. But I wasn't really going for unmedicated this time. I wanted to...
We couldn't even gone unmedicated.
I think I could have.
No.
Did they say no?
Yeah, because they said in case of an emergency C-section, you have to have the epidural. We don't want to go in there.
Is that what they said? I thought they said you could do that in case of it.
I guess they could, but then
They said I had the... If I wanted to, I could.
You still had the choice, but they're like, we strongly suggest that you don't because...
I remember them being like, if you want to do unmedicated, you can. But with... in case of a C-section, it's good to have the epidural. I don't remember them being pushy about it.
But they were like, if in case... I'm not saying they were pushy. They were just like, because if you don't get it and we go into an emergency C-section, we won't have time to give you an epidural.
Spinal block. Yeah, it was just going to be...
Yeah.
It was just going to be a... Put me under.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I wasn't going for unmedicated. I was just going for a vaginal birth. That was all I cared about. And in my mind, I was going to get the epidural in case of an emergency.
Yeah.
Because of our track record with emergencies and things that could go wrong, going wrong. But I was trying to not think about that. I was trying to think about it, everything going as perfectly as possible, trying to manifest the best birth experience that I could have in our situation.
I want to throw that book away.
Yeah.
We didn't have a physical copy, so I can actually throw it.
We read that book. I was trying to do all these different positions that were supposed to help you go through the pain of the contractions. I was trying to just hold on as much as I could before I got the epidural, because then I was going to be stuck in bed. And I wanted to move around as much as I could before that point. But it got so... I was on a call with my mom, and I remember I was like bent on the bed. I was on my knees, like bent like this on the bed and just hanging. Like my belly was hanging. And I was calling my mom. I was telling her like how things were going. And all of a sudden I was so scared because they told me, if you feel any sharp pains, any sudden, like anything,
Pops or anything like that.
Yeah, that's not normal. Let us know so that we can make sure that it's not your uterus that ruptured or anything like that.
Yeah.
But obviously, if my uterus had ruptured, like the reading on the baby would have, like the heartbeat would have been, yeah. We would have known that something was wrong if it was that bad. But yeah, I was calling my mom, and then I felt like it was like a pop. It felt like a pop, and it wasn't sharp. It wasn't a sharp pain, but it was like I felt like I don't know how to explain it. Inside my body, it was like a bang.
Yeah.
And I was like, what was that? What just happened? I didn't get to experience my water breaking with Neymar because we went in and did the C-section. So I was like, did my water just break? No way, and then I had another contraction and I was leaking a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no way, I think my water just broke. And a couple more contractions happened, and the nurses came back in and they're like, hey, how are you doing? And I said, so this really weird like pop sensation just happened, and now I'm leaking fluid, and I think my water broke. But it was only leaking, I was still leaning like this. And she was like, I don't know, maybe your water could have broken, I'm not sure. And so she called the other nurse, and they were going to do the sweep and then run a test to see if there was any amniotic fluid on it. And I also said after that, my contractions were another level of strong. And at that point I was like, okay, nope. I'm getting the epidural now.
Yeah.
And it's like 30 minutes after you say I want the epidural now. It's like it takes like 30 minutes. I can't talk today. It takes like 30 minutes between you saying I want it now
and it actually showing up.
Yeah. Anyway, so they stood me up, and as soon as I got up, like in the movies, when the water breaks, everything just all over the floor. It was the craziest experience ever. My socks got soaked, everything, and the nurses were like, well,
we know now that your water broke.
Yeah, we don't.
There's no question about it.
Oh man. Did you see him, like, the water spilling? Were you looking when that happened, or?
Part of it, yeah. Not the full thing, but...
I was also wearing a gown, so it kind of... So weird. It was so weird. I'm really glad I got to experience that, because that was...
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. But yeah, my water broke. They sat me down. We called the anesthesiologist. He was so different from Neymar's anesthesiologist.
Yeah.
Neymar's was very warm, very friendly, just talked through every single step about what was going to happen. This one just came in, said, okay, bend down. I'm going to poke you. This is the needle. I'm going to poke you. Don't move. I was like, okay, that's it. He pokes me. I like flinch a little bit the first time because it's like a sharp pain that I wasn't expecting. I don't know. And he's like, oh, I got to do it again. You moved. And then he did it again. And I did it again. And then I had a contraction coming. So he's like, okay, we're going to wait this contraction out. And then I'm going to do it again.
Yeah. And
that time he got it in. I remember I still moved a little bit, but he said that it was good. And he's like, okay, it's in. Every hour, press the button for it to give you another dose.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I wouldn't go more than 1 hour without pressing the button. I said, okay. That was the worst advice he could have given me.
Mm-hmm. And the nurses even said...
Oh, he also said, you could press it as much as you want.
Yeah.
And I don't think the nurses were paying attention at that point.
They did say stuff later, didn't they?
Yeah, after the whole incident. But, okay, I was sitting down. I felt the numbness come in, and it was really strong. I could barely move my legs. Like, barely. Like, this was all I could do with my foot. Like, I was just doing this. And I hated it. I'm very, very claustrophobic. And if I feel like I can't move, I go a little bit crazy.
A little bit under... Like, no. There was no little bit about this.
But hold on, though. That wasn't too bad. Like, it was bad, but it wasn't too bad. I could still take it. It was after I noticed that an hour had passed. I didn't feel like I needed to press the button, but he said to press the button.
Mm-hmm.
And so I followed directions. When it comes to stuff like this, I'm not messing with. The doctor said to do this. I'm trusting my doctors.
Yeah.
I want this to be the best experience that I could possibly have. So I pressed the button. Worst mistake in my life. After that, I started to feel numb all the way up to my chest, like above. Like all I could move. I could still move my arms, but I felt like I couldn't breathe as much as I wanted to breathe. Like my lungs were not listening to me when I was trying to inhale. You don't know.
I don't know.
It was so bad, and I was touching my chest, and I was touching everywhere. I couldn't feel it. It was like I was touching. Oh no, another spike. I'm so sorry. I was trying to reach over to Branson's chest, It's like I was touching you, like touch me.
I know what you're.
It was like I was touching somebody else's chest. I was not feeling me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't breathe. And then I got that claustrophobic sensation, which makes me hyperventilate. And so I just started. I can't breathe. I can't move. I can't. And Branson, he was trying to be so nice.
I was trying. I was. At this point, I'm like, she's gone mentally insane.
I was hitting the only thing that I could do to help me realize that I was still me, that my body was still, that I could still control my body, I could still move. Like, I had to tell my body, I'm still moving, I'm not in a tight spot, I'm not being held, like, I'm moving. So I had to move my arm, and I was banging my head, like, over and over and over and over, just hitting my head. And that's all I could do to try and help my body realize I am okay. It's going to be okay. But the breathing part, that was a little scary because I really could not. Part, yeah. I really could not take a full breath. And so that scared me. I'm like, what if it's going to stop my heart? Like, it scared me. But yeah, what did you call me? You said I looked like a...
I don't remember.
Was it a monkey? Like a...
No. I don't remember what it was.
It's just because I was doing these crazy moves, and I felt insane in the moment. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe I'm doing this in order for me to feel okay, but I am gonna do it. I don't care how stupid I look right now. I don't care that Branson thinks that I've gone mad. Like, I have to do this for myself. And you kept trying to be like, don't, like, I don't know, calm down. I think you said a couple times. I'm like, remember the book? Remember the book said to never say calm down.
I don't think I said calm down. I said you need to breathe.
You did say calm down, I remember. Because I was like, I can't calm down, Branson.
That's the part where I was like, because nothing was working, so I'm like, Mara, knock it off, breathe. We need to figure this out. Knock it off for 2.5 seconds. Like, come back to reality for a second. Like, you're not dead. Calm down. Anyway, it was just like, I had to get very like, okay, we need to figure this out. Stop for a second.
We called the nurses in because I couldn't. I had a whole mental breakdown. Just sobbing, crying, hitting my head, trying to like get out of the bed. I tried to move, and that made me go a little bit crazier because I realized how little I could actually move my body.
Yeah.
So we called the nurses in. They're like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm really claustrophobic. And I press the button again, and I feel like I'm numb all the way up here. And they're like, why did you press the button? I'm like, the anesthesiologist told me to press the button at least once every hour. And they both looked at each other.
Like that. No.
And then they said, don't listen to...
Like, you only do it if you absolutely need it.
Only if you need. You don't have to press it every time. I wouldn't press it as much as you want. That's also not great advice that he said.
Like, they say that you can press it all as much as you want, but you press it not 10 times. You do it a couple times and it caps out at a certain point, and so it doesn't go. Like, you can press it.
You're not gonna overdose on it, you know. Obviously, they have it. Controlled. That's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, I was like, can you stop it? Can you stop the epidural? I feel like I can't breathe. I can't take a full breath. And I think you said that they did pause it.
They paused it for a minute.
Okay, I didn't.
For a few minutes, I guess.
I thought they said that they couldn't pause it, so. Where's my ring?
Seriously.
oh no, I left my wedding ring somewhere. I don't have it on. I was gonna twist it just barely, and I don't have it on.
I think it was they could stop the epidural, but not the Pitocin. Was that it?
I don't remember.
I remember they stopped the epidural for a minute so it could kind of slow down.
Maybe they could pause it, but they can't stop until it fully goes, until you use it all the way. So maybe that's what they said, that they couldn't stop it. Like, we can't just stop right here. You have to do the full thing. So yeah, they paused it. They sat me up a little bit, and so I don't know how to explain it, but it like weighed me down instead of me being flat, because I was laying down on the bed.
Yeah. So
they sat me up a little bit, and it helped me like get my lungs to have more space. I don't know. It kind of helped me. That's all. That's the best way that I can explain it. It was draining down.
Like that's sitting you up. That's what it did mostly.
But it also helped my lungs get more room than just laying down.
Yeah.
For me. So I calmed down. They laid me back down a little bit, not fully. And I think that's when I was finally able to take a nap and just rest. Yeah. Like, I calmed down enough. I put my AirPod in, and I was listening to the same song for the rest of the labor. Mm-hmm. I forgot that I even had it on. It was like, it wasn't a song like lyrics. It was just music. It was just instrumental. I don't even think it was instrumental. It was like sounds, calming sounds for labor. Something like that. So it wasn't instruments, it was just sounds. I don't know. And I had that going for the rest of the time when I was pushing, when she was born, a little bit after, and then I realized, oh, I still have my AirPod on. And I finally took it out. But what happened after that? I guess we have it written down, guys. I should be looking more at this.
Yeah, probably. You're able to take the nap. So
by the time that my water broke, I don't think we specified. I was like 4 centimeters dilated.
Yeah, so once it started going, it went pretty quick.
Yeah, 4 centimeters dilated, 80% effaced. And then when the epidural was too high, they also checked me, and I was dilated to a 6 or 7. They were like, you're kind of in between 6 or 7. No! No! Why? Why is that a thing?
I think it's almost gone, hopefully.
So I took a nap. Once I woke up, the nurses came back in, they checked me again, and I was fully dilated, fully effaced. Like, I was ready to go. So they had the doctor come in and check, and he felt the head, and he said that she had flipped. So she was in the right position. She wasn't sunny side up anymore. She was perfect. Like, I could push whenever I felt like I was ready to push. Mm-hmm. But at that time, I think she was still a little too high, so pushing wasn't gonna
do anything at that moment.
Yeah, I was probably just gonna get exhausted from pushing. So we decided to wait a little bit longer. She told me, when you feel pressure, like you want to push, I'll come back in and then we can start pushing.
Yeah.
But when he said that she had flipped, I thought that he said that she was still in that position. So I was like mentally preparing myself for it to, if it goes wrong, like if something.
Yeah, so you had to ask like 3 different times.
Yeah, I asked, and he's like, did you hear what I said? And I was like, that she's sunny side up. And he was like, no, she turned. She's good. I'm like, what? Like, I almost cried. I was like, no way. Mm-hmm. How is everything happening so perfectly. Like everything's going how it's supposed to go. Everything's going right. This is crazy. This is crazy for us. So
Post-mental breakdown, Mara's a lot happier.
Seriously.
It's true.
We wait a
We're
little
2
bit.
for 2 for mental breakdowns during pregnancy.
Oh my goodness.
Caused by claustrophobia. Just go climb some caves to get you over it. Maybe the next one will be a little bit simpler.
All I know is labor is a little bit claustrophobic for me. It's happened twice. Both times. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. So, like I said, post-mental breakdown Mara is a lot happier of a person.
The nurses left me to wait until I felt like I needed to push, and I think about 15 minutes to 30 minutes later, I felt like I needed to push. Thinking about it now, I probably could have waited a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
But my first time, I decided to go with it. And so we started pushing, and it took me about an hour from the moment I started pushing till she was born.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was pushing like every 3 minutes is when my contractions were coming in, like every 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Man.
You do it like, was it 1, 2, 3? Like 3 minutes, you would push 3 times and then rest for 1 or 2.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't remember exactly the patterns, but it was...
They counted for me, and so the book that we were reading was like never hold your breath while you're pushing, but the way that they taught me to push was hold your breath while you're like breathe in and then hold your breath when you're pushing.
The book.
Or not. It was so weird.
All I'm going to say, the book, it's by one of these people that think they know everything, and like it literally said multiple times in the book, if you do not do exactly how I say it, your birthing experience is going to be terrible. Like, if you don't do it XYZ, you're going to feel a whole bunch of pain, you're going to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, this person needs to be punched in the face. Like, I'm sorry, but
I feel
you
like
say that, like, childbirth, if it's not exactly like this, then it's going to be ruined. Like,
everybody's different, so everybody handles pain differently. I do feel like breathing out your baby is probably the best when you are unmedicated. So the whole like ooh sound that they tell you to do when you're pushing, I think that works better when you're unmedicated, but because you can't fully feel everything, or at least I couldn't with the epidural, I didn't quite know when I needed to do the whoo sound, so I went along with how they told me to do it instead of how I wanted to do it unmedicated.
Mm-hmm.
And it was holding the breath, pushing, but also making sure you're breathing enough. So it wasn't like I was, like, every time they felt like I wasn't breathing enough, they were like, okay, let's
take a break.
Yeah, let's take a break. Let's skip this contraction. Don't push. Just breathe and relax.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1 hour pushing. Halfway through it, you could start seeing like the head.
Mm-hmm.
They had a little mirror at the top. They're like, do you want us to put the mirror? I'm like, yes, I want to see. So we could see the hair. There was so much hair.
It was thick.
It was just black. It was so cool because I couldn't feel anything. I wasn't sure if I was pushing. It's so weird. I couldn't feel anything, so I wasn't sure if I was pushing. They were just like, the same muscles that you use to poop, just muscle memory, and try to push like you want to poop.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm doing this right, but I'm giving it my all. They had me hold on to like my two legs, and that kind of helped me feel if my legs were tensing up a little bit to see if I was actually like doing anything. Obviously, those aren't the muscles that you use to poop, but am I actually?
It was something.
Am I actually doing any pressure, or is my head just going? But the mirror helped a lot because I could tell that my muscles were moving.
Yeah.
And like the head would just come in and out. But it's interesting because I didn't go through it with Neymar, I thought that you still had to push the rest of the body out. But as soon as the head comes out,
it's pretty much done.
It's pretty much done. The doctors
you just have to get the head out.
The doctors help move the rest of the body out.
Yeah.
It was so fast. Like the head was out and baby was out.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like I didn't know that either. That as soon as the head's out, it's pretty much done at that point.
So crazy. And then I thought that you had to. Maybe you do have to do this when you're unmedicated, but with the epidural, I didn't even feel my placenta come out. I thought you still had to push that out as well, but the doctor got it out for me. And it was really cool because he actually showed me my placenta. The one with Neymar never said, "Hey, look, this is your placenta."
Yeah.
So
he was a lot cooler too. He was just like,
yeah, he talked,
explaining through everything, like when showing the placenta, like he was pointing stuff out and like explaining how it worked and everything. He was older too, so
it was so cool. I feel like with Neymar, my anesthesiologist was the one that explained everything, and the actual doctor was in and out.
Yeah.
He was just in there to do his job and not anything else.
Which that doctor's more of it's a surgeon more than anything.
No, he was also
Well, yeah, but what I mean is like, I'm sure that giving birth is one, like you have to go into one mode,
and then C-section is
C-section, it's surgery, so you have to be in a whole different mental state.
That makes sense.
And so, I'm sure it's a lot more like, okay, we got to get this done. We have an open wound, like it's open on the table. We just got to go and make sure everything is done as fast as possible.
Which for the C-section, I remember they asked me if I wanted to listen to a specific song or music.
I don't think I was there for that.
Oh, and I'm like, I can't think of anything right now. My mind is blank. Do you remember songs playing?
No.
Oh. Well, they had a song playing while they were doing the surgery. So crazy.
It's crazy.
Having gone through a surgery where I'm awake and a surgery where I'm not, like, it's weird to think about what goes on in the OR when you're out.
Yeah.
Like, what do they talk about? What do they do?
What are they listening to? What are they...
Watching Grey's Anatomy and how... obviously, that's not how it goes, but it's... like, they could just talk about anything.
Yeah.
You're just there. You're just laying there.
Anyway, back to the birth.
Sorry. Back to the birth. Where were we?
They just pulled her out. And he was showing the placenta.
Oh, they showed us the placenta. It was really cool. But I had her on my chest. And everything else didn't matter at that point. That's what I was hoping my experience was going to be like with Neymar. So that was very, very healing. To be able to experience that with Evelyn.
Going through the full actual birth.
And me thinking that it was a boy the entire well, I kind of thought it was a girl at first because things started off a little bit different than Neymar, and honestly throughout the entire pregnancy it was different.
Yeah.
But because I thought it was a girl and I wanted a girl, I've always wanted a daughter, and everything always goes the other way that I want it. I was like, it's gonna be a boy. With Neymar, I don't know what it, like, ever since I was a little girl, in my head I was gonna have a son first, and then maybe another son, and then a daughter, or a daughter and whatever. But it was always, in my head, it was always a son first, so I wasn't surprised that Neymar was a boy. Like, I was expecting a boy.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't know until the birth, I was just expecting a boy. But for this one, I didn't know. Like, I didn't have that certainty of, oh, it's gonna be this or that. Like,
yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, because I want it to be a girl this time, it's going to be a boy. It doesn't matter that all the things are pointing towards a girl. It's gonna be a boy because that's how life works for me. And so you got to say the gender.
Mm-hmm.
And you said girl, and that last week, I was leaning more towards girl. And that, before we went in, I was saying, the nurses were asking, what do you think it is? And I said, I think it's gonna be a girl. Like, I switched my answer.
Last week, yeah.
I switched my answer. But when you announced it, I was like, no way. No way. And the fact that Danielle also had a girl,
mm-hmm.
because everybody was saying, oh, they're probably going to be opposite gender. Like, they're going to be different genders. They're not going to be the same gender. And I think you said, because my sister had a girl, I think this is going to be a boy.
Yeah.
But did you actually believe?
When I say there's a 50-50 chance of each, I 100% mean it. Like, I don't know. It's literally a 50-50 for me.
But you would answer for other pregnancies. You would actually answer the question.
Because I'm just throwing out a guess. Like,
but couldn't you just throw out a guess for us?
Because it's different.
It's not different. It's the same.
It's not the same.
I feel like it's the same.
Because I don't have high hopes for other kids. Like, once I start having, like, higher hopes for ours, like, if I think it's a boy the whole time, and it ends up not being a boy, then it's like, oh, well, I wanted a boy, you know?
Gender
but if it's, like, a little bit, maybe, but, like, if I don't know, it's just, like, I don't want to make a guess because I really don't know.
Hmm.
For other people, it doesn't matter. I'm just like, yeah, cool, you'll have a boy. Oh, cool, you'll have a girl. Like, it doesn't really affect me whether it's a boy or a girl. But ours is a little different.
When I'm guessing or leaning one way or the other, if it was the opposite, I would still be just as happy and as grateful and everything because I just want kids.
Yeah, I get that.
So for me, it doesn't matter if we had another boy. Like, I would still have been just as happy because we were able to have another baby. That's the most important thing for me was just being able to grow our family. Yeah. So I wasn't, but it was a shock that it was a girl because I did want a girl.
Yeah, I think part of it too, for me, not like really making a guess, is growing up, you know, I wanted a brother. And it was Allie. Oh, I want a brother. It was Neil. I want a brother. It was Savannah. I want a brother. It was Lizzie. And then finally I was like, I don't care. I want another sister. And then it was Asbury. And so I'm just like, I don't know, maybe it was because I was disappointed growing up.
I was disappointed growing up. You actually got two brothers.
I know.
Growing up, I was like, okay, I wasn't the first child, but automatically two brothers. And
yeah,
then
you have four brothers. I have four sisters. If my parents would have stopped at the same amount your parents stopped.
But they didn't.
That's what I mean. Like,
mine did.
Yours did. Mine didn't. And so, and also by the time that Az was born, I was what?
16? 15? 14?
No. I think it was 16
was
with
Canyon.
So 14 or 13 with Az. Anyway. Yeah, I don't really make a guess with our kids because I'm just like,
I don't want to feel that disappointment that I felt guessing my siblings.
Not really disappointment. I'm just like, I really don't know. And I don't want to start to lean one way or another.
I was wrong with all my siblings. You're
I think the only
trapped.
times that I did say, like, any guesses, I think I said girl for Neymar and boy for Avalon.
You were wrong
Uh-huh.
for both.
Yeah.
Were
It
you,
wasn't like an actual guess. It was just
were
like,
you right for Allie, though?
I don't remember. I was 3.
Didn't you say sister?
You'll have to ask my
I
parents.
think
was
you
3.
did. I think that's what your mom said.
Anyway, we'll get back to it.
Okay. She was on my chest.
It's already an hour and 5 minutes into it.
Oh. Well, the rest is just, like, telling everybody what gender she was. Because nobody knew. Nobody else knew. We didn't tell any... We didn't know.
Yeah.
We told my family first. My mom was taking care of Neymar. So she came in the next day. She brought Neymar. And Neymar got to see first. And he, pretty much the entire time, he was saying sister.
Yeah.
There was a couple times where he, like, went to brother. But I think it was because I kept putting in his head, but what if it's a brother? Like, are you going to be happy if it's a brother?
Yeah.
Like, what if it's a brother? It's going to be a brother, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's why he switched to brother, but, like, his first thing was sister, sister, sister. And when you asked him that day, what do you think the baby is? He was like, a sister.
Yeah.
And so he got it right. He was right from the beginning.
Yeah. But well, we hear a lot of people that, like, their kids are, it's hard for them at the hospital, but once they take them home, it's a little easier. Like, the baby gets, or the firstborn, it was the opposite for us. Like, he was happy and excited at the hospital, and then when we took him home, he's like, we're keeping it. Like, we're...
When did she go back into your belly? He asked me that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to that when we're transitioning from 1 kid to 2 kids.
Yeah. I guess there was 2 more big things with this pregnancy, or this birth, I guess. One, they do all the checks and everything to make sure it's healthy when it first comes out, and we asked the nurses,
Oh, yeah.
what about the club foot? And they're like, what club foot? Like, there is no club foot. We're
Yeah.
like, what the heck?
I asked, I was like, so how are her club feet? And they were like, what?
Yeah, they were confused. They're like, what do you
I was
mean
like,
club
they told
feet?
me that she had club feet. And then they were like, we don't see any
There's no
club feet.
Yeah, there's no
She
club
just,
feet.
like, they're very flat, like, she bends them in, but she's able to bend them all the way out. That's not club foot.
Yeah. Even like the pediatrician, we asked her and she's like, I'll check, and she checked and everything. She's like, yeah, there's no club foot.
Everything looks fine.
Yeah. Which we were like, what in the world? Like, we're doing this whole thing expecting to have to go up and...
Yeah, another thing that went, like, another miracle, because I was so worried that I was going to have a C-section, and then we were going to have to travel to go to the hospital where they can fix the club feet.
Yep.
So as soon as I was able to give birth vaginally, I was like, okay, traveling is not going to be that hard. Everything is...
Yeah, we can make it work.
But I'm like, I need to know how bad it is, because, well, I had her on my chest, but I couldn't see her feet. I was just holding her, and then once they finally took her to weigh her and do all the things,
Yeah.
Branson went over there with her, and I'm like, okay, are they going to say anything? Like, when are they going to tell me anything? So I had to ask, because nobody was saying anything, but it was because there was nothing to say.
Yeah, it was crazy. And the very last thing, just because I'm still upset about it.
Yeah.
She was born, and she had a big... We thought it was a mole at first. A mole or a birthmark or something.
A birthmark, yeah, something.
We're still not sure what it was. But she had it right here on her head. It was big.
It was
mole or
so
birthmark.
unique.
It was very unique. Like,
What did you think when you saw that?
I thought it was, like, I didn't know if it was what it was at first. I was like, what the heck? And then I was like, that's actually really cool. Like, it's...
You fell in love with it.
I did. Like, I absolutely loved it. And then it disappeared. We even had, like, people in the comments like,
You got it removed.
Why'd
She's
you
so
get it
little.
removed? We didn't. It removed itself, and I'm still so upset about it because I loved it. Like, I don't know why, But I loved it.
He really did. Like, he'd be like, I don't know, it's like one of the first things that you would talk about, and just...
I don't know why. It was just like, it was so cool, and it was unique, and it was just like, I thought it was so cool, and I really did like fall in love with it, and then it disappeared, and I'm still so upset about it.
Yeah.
Like, imagine her big, giant eyes, and how happy she is with that mole right there, like...
She would be so cute with that mole right there.
Yeah, I'm still upset about it.
She would be so cute. It left in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The next day, it was a little bit less dark, but it was a little bit smaller too. Yeah. And then it just kept getting lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter every day. It was just
going. It would get lighter, but like there was still the mark.
Yeah, and then the mark flaked away. Like it just came off.
Yeah.
And it's gone. Just fully gone. It was so dark when she was born. Yeah. So dark.
Anyway, yeah, I was really upset. And it's funny that people are like, why'd you get it removed? It's like, we
would have kept it.
I loved it. I would not have wanted to get removed. Anyway.
Her birthing story was the best birthing story I could have had with the situation that we had.
Yeah. Because we had, I don't know, I guess you could say obstacles leading up to it.
But we, everything aligned perfectly and we overcame everything, and it was very, very healing for me to have that different experience than Neymar's. Only because I really wanted to do that, you know? I'm not saying that C-sections are not something to be proud of and not something to be happy about. Like, if you wanted to have a C-section, that's great. But I personally wanted to try and do vaginally from the very beginning, and I wanted to do unmedicated, but now at this point I'm okay with not, I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
But me before any births, I really needed to do that. I really wanted to do that. And so I think it just depends on every person. Some women don't even want to have kids, and it's not a big deal. It just depends on what you want and what you desire. That's it. And I really wanted to have that experience, and I had that experience, so it was really, really healing for me.
Yeah. Anyway, that is our story.
Yep, next episode we're going to talk about just marriage. I asked people on Instagram to ask us questions.
Oh yeah.
About,
I was like, marriage? I thought it was a Q&A.
Yeah, just...
That's what I mean. I was like...
Married life Q&A.
Yeah.
And I think I might start doing that every once in a while, just ask you guys on Instagram, because I don't know, I'm not really on YouTube, or...
You can still, if you have questions, you can put them in the comments here, or I guess Spotify.
You can also say, if you leave a comment and you want to tell us your story, if you want us to talk about it in the podcast, I would love to read your guys' stories out loud. I can even keep it anonymous. I don't have to say your guys' name if you don't want me to. You can say it, or just send us a message, a private message.
Yeah, on Instagram.
On Instagram. Hey, I would like to share my story, or have you read my story. You don't have to say my name, or I would like you to say my name. Anything like that. I just want people to know more about other people's experiences, so they don't feel as alone. Something that I feel like we need to talk more about, so not everybody feels so isolated when it comes to stuff like this. Because everybody's gone through hard things that they don't talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah. This is the end.
Thank you guys. We love you.
You're with it.